Festival of the South. 8 stakes races over the next week worth more than $2 million. The headline event starting it all off, today's Oaklawn Handicap. It's the 38th running of the handicap. The purse $500,000 guaranteed at a mile and 1/8. This grade 1 race for the thoroughbreds 4-year-old and up. Weather definitely a factor. We've had heavy rain throughout the day here in southwest Arkansas, we should say. I mean, it has been pouring thunder, lightning, and the track condition, as you see, sloppy. The riders told us earlier, though, they listed as a sloppy fast. This track gets faster the more rain and the heavier rain beating the ground down. Well, this is now the 3rd stop in the American Championship Racing Series. This unique series of races just started this year, features 10 events across this country over an 8-month period worth more than $8.25 million. Here's the lineup now for some of the big tracks and some of the big events that are taking place around the country as part of the American Championship Racing Series. It includes a $1.5 million bonus. Points awarded to the first 5 finishers in each series race. Those are 10 for first, 7 for second, 5 for third, 3 for fourth, and 1 for 5th place. Here are the current point leaders in the American Championship Racing Series. Farma Way and Jolie's Halo, they're both here today. Both won, each winning one of the first 2 legs. Festin, a runner-up, is here today as well. Then Primal with 3 points is also here. So of the 8 top point leaders, 4 of them are here today, ready to run at Oaklawn Park in the handicap. And it is just what those who put together this series were hoping for. Get the best together here. And they've all arrived here at Oaklawn Park, despite the weather. I tell you, they love their racing in this part of the country. More than 35,000 fans here today. They'll bet more than $3.5 million. Well, earlier today, when things were just a bit sunnier here at Oaklawn Park, we had a chance to hear some comments from Tom Durkin and Sandra Neal and introduce you to the field.
Thanks, Chris. Well, Tom, you know, it's highly unusual to see so many well-regarded champions in one race so early in the season. In fact, if you take Unbridled, Jolie's Halo, and Farma Way together, they've earned nearly $6 million.
Simply put, the winner of this race will be the top-ranked thoroughbred in North America. But I think the most compelling aspect of this race will be the running itself. 3 top-class thoroughbreds in top shape, and each of them have distinct and separate running styles. It should be a great race from start to finish. Let's meet the field for this Oaklawn Handicap. Number 1 is Undefeated. Jolie Salo at 3-1 in the morning line. Silver Survivor, a multiple graded stakes winner, and yet 20-1 in the morning line. That underlines the quality of this field. Festin was second in the big cap. Farma Way, the winner of that race, undefeated. He has beaten the best in the West this year. Unbridled, some question as to whether he would run today at all, given the off track. But the 3-year-old champion is in, making his second start of 1991. DeRoche was second in this race last year. Bedeviled was the winner of the Razorback here in his last start, and Primal, a winner of over $1 million, and yet he is an outsider in this field, both literally and figuratively.
And Tom, I think the trainers are enjoying the competition as much as the racing fans, particularly the top 3 trainers. They know that their horses are world caliber. They're at the top of their game right now, and they want to compete against each other. It's almost like an early Breeders' Cup Classic. And also the jockeys have great things to say about their horses, some saying that these mounts are the greatest they've ever ridden before in their life.
And the trainers have great things to say, too. Happy Alter being my favorite. He said, after giving his just due to the other competition, said that his horse was merely from another planet. Happy Alter, of course, being something of an extraterrestrial himself. They will be running on terra firma, however, a sloppy version thereof here at Oaklawn Park today. A pretty good run into the first turn, which is relatively sharp. Sharp turns here at Oaklawn Park. Then they continue down the backstretch around another sharp turn. The stretch here at Oaklawn is a longie, over 1,155 feet. One of the quirky parts about this racetrack is that it's not completely level all the way around. That last 1/8 of a mile is actually downhill.
And that long stretch gives some of those come-from-behind runners a chance to make up ground.
Unbridled being a come-from-behind horse, kind of an advantage in this handicap race.
And since it is a handicap, that means that the racing secretary assigns weights according to a horse's past performance. In this case, Unbridled carries top weight of 124 pounds, followed by Farma Way at 122, Jolie's Halo at 120. Now, these 2 horses have yet to carry this type of weight in a handicap, but it's not too much of a significant increase.
I don't think the weight is going to have too much to do with the outcome today, but nonetheless, the trainer of the high weight, Carl Nafsker, did what he was supposed to do. It says right there on page 3 of How to Be a Good Trainer, you must always complain about the weights if you receive the high weight in a handicap race. Chris, back to you.
Thank you, Tom. And no complaints, not even the weather, from Charles J. Seller, the president of Oaklawn Park. They say the sun always shines here, but if we can't have sun, we've got maybe the greatest race in America.
Chris, we really do. And welcome back to the Saratoga of the South, where the sun always shines.
I know you're getting ready for the start of your big week. Racing Festival, there's nothing quite like it.
If you like racing, this is where you ought to be.
In fact, 39 thoroughbred million afternoon. We'd like you to meet two of those stars right now. And part of a field that has combined earnings of more than $9 million. Let's meet our two headliners now with Tom Durkin.
The emergence of Farma Way as the leading older horse in the West naturally invites comparisons to the Team Lucas star of last year, Criminal Type. 1990's Horse of the Year used some of the same spring races to launch his title bid. But trainer Wayne Lucas says the two horses are not very much alike.
Farma Way's a real genuine giving horse that trains well in the morning and likes to get out there and do it, whereas Criminal Type was a little bit reluctant. He was like a spoiled superstar on maybe a ball club. Every day you had the ego to deal with. Every day you had to wonder if he was going to perform up to his best.
Criminal Type's best was certainly good enough last year, and the new sensation Farma Way has consistently improved during his win streak.
But I know in the big cap, I never saw a horse get to the quarter pole. By that, I mean the first mile as easy as he did, and then drop down and finish like he did. I mean, he was for real that day, and I think he served notice that he's going to be problems for everybody.
Unbridled is the first Eclipse Award winner trained by Carl Nafsker. So rather than measure him against another horse, Nafsker prefers to compare Unbridled to himself.
Last year, he was basically a string bean horse, and he's matured a lot. His mind's better. I noticed he looked the track over a lot this morning. Last year, he'd always really clock a new place, so that hasn't changed any.
His running style hasn't changed either, as Unbridled demonstrated in his 1991 debut. That day had him far back early, but the furious late run that collared champion sprinter Housebuster impressed the trainer.
Well, I told Pat in the paddock, I said, Pat, I think the horse can win the horse race. If the lane's open, everything goes right. But when you say something like that, you're looking at a length and a half, 2 lengths. You know, at the best spread, you know, he either wins by a length or we win by a length at the most. Not anybody could ever tell you that they expected to see that performance.
And did Unbridled get what he needed from that first start of the year?
Oh, yes. That's why we're coming on to Oaklawn. It hit our schedule, and he came out of it real good, and we're ready to go on to the next series now.
Well, not only does a series of this caliber attract illustrious trainers and horses, but it also attracts world-class jockeys. Gary Stevens is the leading rider in the nation, and Pat Day has earned more than $100 million. And then there's jockey Robin Platts. Now, you may not know much about Robin here in America, but on his home turf in Canada, he's a household name. In fact, he's ridden nearly 3,000 winners.
And now Sound Reason's coming on the outside. Sound Reason's got it. Sound Reason is in front. And at the wire, Sound Reason by a half.
That was jockey Robin Platts aboard Sound Reason in the Queen's Plate, Canada's equivalent to the Kentucky Derby, a race he'd won a record 4 times by 1984. His strong riding style and quiet disposition earned him the title the Lafitte Pinkai of the North, as he consistently finished among the top 3 Canadian riders in the 70s. But in the 80s, his track record started to slide, and horsemen speculated that Robin Platts had lost his touch.
Oh, well, we all have our little sour moments, and especially when you're not riding the top horses. And but that's what a jockey's supposed to do, just persevere. That's all we can do.
But it was later discovered that poor health played a part in Robin's decline. Last spring, doctors finally diagnosed an underactive thyroid, a condition associated with fatigue and depression.
Didn't really want to work at my job, and cost me a lot of mounts probably, because I wouldn't work, and didn't really want to do much of all.
Daily medication has curtailed the problem, and Platts is back to feeling his old self again.
Well, I feel great and want to work at it. So I feel like I really want to work, you know, to get on more horses, ride more, so hope this will be my best year in quite a while.
And now, at the age of 42, Platts is once again riding with confidence, and Jolie's halo has put him back in the spotlight.
Well, he's a rare creature, I'll tell you that. He's got little gears. Anytime I need to ask him, he gives it to me. he probably is the best horse. Matter of fact, I think he is the best horse I've rode.
While we're talking about jockeys, our thoughts and prayers are with the most remarkable jockey in the history of this sport, Bill Shoemaker. Injured Monday night in serious condition after a serious automobile accident there. Here you see Bill Shoemaker on his pony, now as a trainer. We had a chance to visit earlier with Eddie Delahousie, a close friend of Bill Shoemaker's, to talk about the strength of this remarkable man.
If anybody can pull through this man can. And a lot of people that know him better than me. I've known Bill the last 12 years, and we've been close. But a lot of people that's seen him all the other years, he's pulled out of other tight spots before, and hopefully he can do it again.
This shoe is still listed in critical condition. We talked just a few moments ago with Cindy Shoemaker from his hospital room. She reports paralysis of the upper and lower extremities, but said that Bill is alert and responsive. And again, for all of us through this sport, our prayers and thoughts are with this great champion.
Hello everybody, Vic Roeder at TSN Control with this sports update for you on a busy Saturday. Third round of the Masters at Augusta. Tom Watson, as you know, a two-time winner with a two-shot lead going into the third round. And right now it is the Welshman
to a new level. And we're going to go to an upper level, if you will, up on the roof to Tom Durkin to meet one of the staff of Racing Times here covering the Oaklawn Handicap.
Well, high atop the roof here at Oaklawn Park, a lovely place to be, especially when there's lightning in the area. But it is nice to be with the Midwest reporter for the Racing Times, Lynn Sneerson. Lynn, from our view high atop here, how do you overview this race?
Well, there are a lot of nice horses in this race, which makes it just a double tough race to handicap. But there are three factors I think we need to look at. One is the grade 1 factor. Now, generally, a horse that has won on this level of competition is the horse that will win again. That, of course, would be Unbridled, Jolie's Halo, and Farma Way. The other is the ship-in factor. Now, the California horses come in here and just love this track and do very well in stakes races here, whereas the Florida horses have a tougher time. And the third factor, always at Oaklawn Park, is Pat Day. Now, he's the all-time leading rider here for 9 years in a row, and if there's a live spot on this track, then Pat knows right where it is, and he's going to find it.
Yes, Pat Day, also known as Payday in these parts. Who do you like?
I think because of the track condition and the inside post, I have to go with Jolie's Halo.
Okay, let's go down to ground zero, where it's a little safer.
All right, thank you, Tom. It was Sandra Neal. We expected to have Sandra working in the paddock, but no saddling in the paddock or outside today.
We are indoors, and we are looking at a possible mud runner, Jolie's Halo #1. He won last year on a yielding surface. Now, none of these horses have mud marks, but some of them have won on sloppy going.
Well, we're going to have to certainly check our form for those that like off tracks. I know Happy Ultra from the start of the week had said he is looking forward and would welcome an off track.
Exactly. Let's take a look at some of the horses in the paddock now. We are saddling once again indoors. Normally, we do saddle outside in the grass area. This is a bit of an exception today because of the weather.
It does make it tough on everybody, certainly including the television crew trying to cover the event here. The horses inside, I think we all breathed a big sigh of relief earlier today, Sandra, because early in the week, Carl Naskard said an off track and Unbridled would not run. He changed his mind.
I think these trainers are just so excited to hook up against each other with their top caliber horses that they're going to give it a shot.
Absolutely. You know, Jack Van Berg, of course, always is a factor here. He has a horse named Bedeviled. And I know we talk a lot about the big three. We don't want to certainly slight any of these horses. They're all top quality horses, and Jack Van Berg's always tough around here.
Absolutely, and he's done well at Oaklawn Park. He was the victor in the Razorback Handicap. It'll be interesting to see what he can do today.
You know, one of the tough things about it is a lot of the owners are not able to be here today. They're stuck because of all the weather problems. They haven't been able to fly into Hot Springs. Well, there's a look inside the paddock area now as they are saddling. When we come back, we'll have our post-parade for the Oaklawn Handicap. The stars are about to come outside and join us in the rain.
The Canadian Hockey League interrupts your winner with
85. Owners John Ed Anthony, Francis Getter, John Franks, trainers D. Wayne Lucas, Carl Nasker, Jack Van Berg, and jockey Pat Day all competed in its 32nd running.
Here they come into the stretch. Introspective is the leader. Imp Society in the middle, moving up second. On the outside, here comes Strength in Unity and Star Choice with a late charge along with Pine Circle. It's Imp Society taking the lead. On the outside, Strength in Unity. Pine Circle coming on with Introspective. The leader is Imp Society. Strength in Unity on the outside at the wire. Imp Society wins the Oaklawn Handicap by a neck.
It was the 4th straight victory in the Oaklawn Handicap for jockey Pat Day, and the first of 2 for trainer Dwayne Lucas.
This look back has been brought to you by Claiborne Farm, where for more than a century, a great record reflects our experience.
And let's give you the first look at the odds now here. The betting public at Oaklawn. Jolie's Halo is 9-5 right now. Silver Survivor 30-1. Festin at 9-1. Farma Way is 3-1, and Unbridled, the favorite here as he was on the morning line, he is 9-5. DeRoche at 13-1. Quite a price on a horse that is just a little shy of $1 million. Bedeviled at 20-1, and Primal at 20-1. You're looking now at Festin, and that is trained by Ron McAnally. This very fine chestnut horse. It may be something to be considered today. He was second in the big cap, and it certainly has some talent. You see them now just starting to leave the enclosed paddock area to head out to the racetrack for our post-parade for the Oaklawn Handicap. Track condition again listed as sloppy. And we'll be talking in just a few minutes with Tom Durkin, who's going to give us some race strategy. I know he'll make some comments certainly about off-track. Earlier in our visit with some of the riders in the room after the first 3 or 4 races, they said actually today they would call it a sloppy fast track. The rain has been so heavy here, it has actually beaten down the very sandy race surface and made it very fast. So do not be deceived by a sloppy track and not necessarily mean a slow track. Our Oaklawn Handicap Post Parade, there's never been anything like this collection of horses here at Oaklawn. Jolie's Halo, here he is, the perfect 4-year-old chestnut, undefeated, 6 for 6, the son of Halo, won 2 straight Grade 1 events in Florida, the Dawn and the Gulfstream Park Handicap. Owned by Arthur Appleton, trained by Happy Alter, who you met, and ridden this afternoon by Robin Platts. He's one of the leading riders in Canada, 4-time Queen's Plate winner there, Kentucky Derby. The 2-horse Silver Survivor, a hard-knocking colt who was really left alone in his stall. The owners came back, finally found him there and said, we want to keep this one. He is a survivor, thus the name. He won the New Orleans Handicap, was 4th by 2.5 here in the Razorback, so he's had a race over this track. He's won in excess of $550,000. The rider, one of the top young talents in the country, Aaron Grider, second right now in the standings here, and leading rider at Churchill Downs last spring. The 3-horse, this is Festin. We mentioned second behind Farma Way in the Santa Anita Handicap, third in the San Antonio. He has not won a race this year, but has already earned more than $238,000. He is a true stretch runner. Watch for him coming late. Ron McAnally trains. Eddie Delahousse rides. Nominated this year for the Racing Hall of Fame. He's been a riding champion at 5 different tracks, 2-time Kentucky Derby winner. The 4-horse, this is Farma Way. See the K in the gavel? That indicates a Keeneland sale horse. $25,000, the original price on this. Farma Way, what an outstanding purchase he was for George Bunn, winner of the $1 million big cap, has won 4 straight stakes races. He is the year's top money-earning thoroughbred, trained by the top trainer of the nation, Dwayne Lucas, and ridden by the top jockey of the nation, Gary Stevens, leading money earner last year. The 5-horse, here's the champ, Unbridled, Eclipse champion, Kentucky Derby and Breeders' Cup Classic winner. This the first time a Kentucky Derby winner has set foot on the track at Oaklawn since Dusk Commander in 1971. Carl Nasker, the Eclipse Award winner, trains for Francis Getter, and Pat Day rides the Eclipse champion. He owns this track, riding titles 83 through 91. He's won 4 Oaklawn Handicaps. The 6-horse, this is DeRoche in the famed Lolly stable colors of John Ed Anthony. Top handicap horse in 1990. Second here in this race a year ago. Second in the Suburban and second in the Jockey Club Gold Cup. 5th in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Won his 91 debut by 5.5 lengths. Tom Bohannon trains. The rider, the Hall of Famer, Angel Cordero Jr. He won this race in 89. The 7-horse from the John Frank stable, trained by Jack Van Berg. This is Bedeviled, a $60,000 Keeneland sale purchase. Won the Razorback here by 2. 4th in the Strobe, 2nd in the Malibu in California before coming here, and he has been impressive in his works. Don Howard is the rider, one of Oaklawn's top jocks since 83, 3rd leading rider at the current meeting. Rounding out the field, how about this? We end with a millionaire. Primal earned over $1.1 million for trainer Jimmy Bracken and the Buckram Oak Farm. He is 3rd in the Gulfstream Park Handicap. He was 4th in the Dawn. His last victory, December of 1990 at Calder. The veteran Early Fires has the ride. He's ridden more than 5,000 winners. He was the George Wolf Memorial Award winner. There they are, 8 of the most outstanding thoroughbreds ever gathered on one track earnings of more than $9 million. The favorites, easy, Unbridled, Farma Way, Jolie's Halo. You're not going to get much of a price on those big stars. Let's find a Bud Long shot for the big race.
The Oaklawn Handicap Bud Longshot is DeRoche, who is right at home here in Hot Springs. Unlike the big three, Farma Way, Jolie's Halo, and Unbridled, DeRoche did not have to ship into Arkansas. He stabled right here, and his prep race was excellent. A big figure season debut over his favorite racetrack, Oaklawn Park. Last year, DeRoche earned over $750,000, but he won only one race here at Oaklawn. His other Arkansas start in 1990 was a second in this very same Oaklawn Handicap, finishing ahead of a horse named Criminal Type. Arkansas owner John Ed Anthony would love to win this local fixture a third time. He won it, in fact, with DeRoche's sire, Cox's Ridge, back in 1978. So let's root for the home team. And if they don't win, it's a shame.
Jolie's Halo's the favorite. In California, they're all jammed up. Jolie's Halo, along with Unbridled and Farma Way, all favorites in California for simulcasting there. The gate's set, 1 1/8 for the big Oaklawn Handicap. And what a big race it is. And we mentioned right now we have co-favorites with Jolie's Halo, the 1 horse, and Unbridled, the 5 horse. Let's now get some race strategy as we go up to the top of the grandstand to the man who called the handicap for us, Tom Durkin.
Well, if you're Robin Platts and you're riding Jolie's Halo, you know you want to get to the lead, but you want to play to your strength. Make that early pace fast and then play to your strength on the far turn. This horse possesses an incredible second gear as they round the far turn. You want to open up quickly and make them try to catch you. If you're Gary Stevens, you know you have a fast horse, a strong horse, a powerful horse, but he's not particularly agile. So you might want to do your best running on the straight down the backstretch and then confront Jolie's Halo at that point and wear him down with your power. And Pat Day. Well, if you're Pat Day, what you're thinking is what comes naturally. Patience, naturally to you and naturally to your horse. He will do his best running late, of course. He will not move to the half-mile pole. After that, he will make sure he does not get in any traffic to compromise his big horse once he gets rolling. Chris?
All right, Tom, they're approaching the starting gate. It is set at the 8th mile pole here for this 1 1/8 dash for $500,000. Let's now update the odds for you. Look at how the 35,000 plus fans see this. Jolie's Halo is now at 8-5. Silver Survivor 35. Festin at 10-1. Farma Way 3-1. Unbridled is at 2-1 now. DeRoche 14. Bedeviled at 22. Primal, a huge price at 24-1. Well, it is an off-track, certainly sloppy race conditions all day, and that seems to favor Jolie's Halo. That's what Happy Alter told us. He knew he'd like this. Unbridled, well, he has not raced on anything like this since the Bluegrass, and Pat Day remembers did not run particularly well that afternoon at Keeneland. Farma Way's not had a lot of experience with it, but Gary Stevens told me in the jocks room he thinks he can handle it. He's a very versatile horse, and he is the one who's going to put pressure on Jolie's Halo, and that is what Robin Platts is concerned about. He told us earlier, too, he said, my horse has not been looked in the eye, and that, folks, is the measure of a thoroughbred champion, how he reacts when the pressure is on. There goes our Bud Longshot, DeRoche, and we go to the top of the stands. Tom Durkin set to call the Oaklawn Handicap.
And a pair of long shots will complete this field, Bedeviled and the Millionaire Primal in post position number 8. Well, they've called this the shootout at Oaklawn. Get ready to draw. Jolie's Halo is favored here, breaking from post position number 1. They're in the gate for the Oaklawn Handicap. Jolie's Halo's acting up just a little bit in the starting gate. A disaster if he were to break slowly. And they're off. Jolie's Halo bobbled a bit at the start, but he's recovered quickly. But from the far outside, Bedeviled is coming fast. Jolie's Halo is called on for a run early, and Farma Way is right there with him. Jolie's Halo is taken well off the rail. He's moving in the forward, Pat, as they move under the wire the first time, and Gary Stevens is not conceding that lead. He will make Jolie's Halo work for it. It's Jolie's Halo who fans Farma Way wide going into the turn. Then there's a gap of 3. Primal, who broke from the 8th post position, has moved to the rail to save ground early. On the outside, Bedeviled, and he's trying trying to take hold of this track. Then there's a gap of 4 back to DeRoche, who's moving steadily now. Silver Survivor toward the inside, then a wide margin back to Festin, and the ever-patient Pat Day with the Derby winner Unbridled. They are now about 11 lengths from the lead of Jolie's Halo, who now shakes loose a bit from Farma Way, who's now a length off the pacemaker. Primal's down inside. On the outside, Bedeviled is right there. The first quarter, 22-4, and they've run a half mile in 46 3/5 seconds. Moving toward the half-mile pole, Farma Way pressing again. Jolie's Halo right there, and the battle is joined with the half mile to run here. Primal toward the inside is third, Bedeviled is fourth. DeRoche has now moved within 7 lengths of the lead. Then farther back, it's Silver Survivor, Festin, and the trailer is Unbridled. He is still better than a dozen lengths off the lead. 3 furlongs to run. Jolie's Halo and Farma Way in a protracted speed duel as they come to the top of the stretch here. And at the back of the pack, Unbridled's beginning to roll. He's now 10 lengths from the lead. DeRoche is swinging wide now for the stretch drive, and Primal is charging through an opening toward the inside. They're coming down to the final furlong now. Unbridled is still 5 lengths out, but they're at the 8th pole. Primal is taking the lead. Jolie's Halo is right there. Festin charging on the inside, and Farma Way has dropped out of it. Here comes Festin flying down the rail, and he nails the victory. It's Festin in a shocker at Hot Springs. Primal was second. Jolie's Halo finished third. Unbridled came with his run late. Farma Way beat one horse, and that was Bedeviled. Festin coming, he was 15 lengths out, but with 3 furlongs to run, he came up on the rail, and a shocker here at Hot Springs. He's going to pay $50 to win.
I got this. Festin has stunned the crowd here, the Oaklawn Handicap, and so it was one of the smaller guns that stepped up and pulled theirs out, and in this shootout blew away the big guys. And it was, I think, the critical move with Eddie Delahousie when he dropped Festin. You'll see him, he's in the yellow silks, the yellow cap. He'll drop him in center way to the inside here. You take him, look, the yellow there, the cap of Festin with the white blinkers here as he's coming up on the rail now. Let's take a look at him here.
Definitely post position 1 was a good luck charm going into the rail for Festin. Eddie Delahousie going to work there, definitely worth the trip from California.
There he is, drops inside right there of Primal, and now has clear sailing to the wire. Eddie Delahousie with a masterful ride.
I think he might have a mud mark next to his name after this, Chris.
I think so, too. As there is Festin, who, remember, was second to Farma Way in the big cap. He is just shocked. The unbeatens of 1991. Festin, our unofficial winner.
Halo breakout of post position 1. Any excuses today?
Well, the weather was so bad that they had to delay us coming up from the stable. And Wayne Lucas said to me before the race that this won't really prove anything happy because of the condition of the track.
Let's take a look at the start right now and the slight falter in post position number 1. Can you take us through the race?
Okay, we came out bad. Everything washing down all week was coming towards the rail. And they did the best job they could with the track. They have a great crew here, but you can't beat the nature and the rain. And he went out there, and we were hoping he would like the track, but you never know until you run on an off track like this. And he liked it better than Unbridled and Farma Way, but not well enough to stay undefeated.
Well, happy you finished third. Better luck next time. Top caliber horses. Chris?
All right, thank you, Sandra. And there you see Eddie Delahousie, the winning rider here for the Oaklawn Handicap. We'll be back to make things official.
Eventual winner, Festin, who is, he's about the 3-path at this point. Long shot. Primal now takes the lead. He had a rail trip the whole way, and now Festin will duck to the inside, and he's going to take off. Jolie's Halo, who ran, well, the distance of the race was 1 1/8. He ran 1 1/8. Well, then about another 50 yards or so because he was well off the rail throughout. And here comes Festin in that last burst of speed to get under the line first. And a rail skimming ride there by Eddie Delahousie gets the job done at a price. Let's go down to Sandra.
Thank you very much, Tom. I'm with Eddie Delahousie, the winning rider on Festin. And Eddie, you had a backside trip for a little while. You were almost last, and then you just got in right in the rail. How did you manage to do that?
Well, it worked out perfect. I didn't know these gentlemen riders here ride so clean, so they just left the rail open, and I guess evidently they thought the rail was deep, and I took my best chance of going inside. Hopefully I didn't make a mistake, and it worked out perfect. The horse, he really excelled the last quarter of a mile, and when he slipped through the last 16th of a mile, I knew we had him.
Well, it looks like they paved the way to you. Congratulations, and back to Chris.
All right, when we come back, we've got more racing to talk about around the country today. More surprises for you. Stay with us. We can 3 weeks away. Well, the big surprise, quite an effort.
Oh, it was great. You know, it's a good feeling to come back here to Oaklawn again, you know, to beat these good horses. You know, this is the best that we have. Unfortunately, the weather had to be the way it was, but at least we won it, and we'll go on from here.
Eddie Delahousie, quite a ride.
Good, very good. Eddie, you know, he usually comes around with his one-run style of running, but he saw the hole, and I give him a lot of credit. He rode a terrific race.
Ron, good luck with Bayakoa later in the week. By the way, he came here with a long shot. He is now leaving with the leader in the American Championship Racing Series. Let's update the points. Festin with 17, Jolie's Halo 15, Farma Way with 10, Primal with 10, Sports View 7, Pleasant Tap 5, Secret Hello 5, In Excess 3. Those are our points leader now as Festin has grabbed the lead here. What a day of surprises in racing here today. As we mentioned, of course, Fly So Free knocked off by Strike the Gold at Bluegrass. Now let's take a look at another horse that's going to have a big say in this American Championship Racing Series. Here is Summer Squall. This was run earlier in the week at Keeneland 2 days ago. And in the Lowich race, his 91 debut. There he is, the yellow cap, the dogwood yellow and green. Pat Day looking for him inside, can't find it. Now looking for a narrow opening between horses, and here he comes. Right through, and will go on to win an impressive stakes track record equaling time, 1:15.2 for 6.5 furlongs. A very impressive 4-length victory for Summer Squall. Here is the voice of Kentucky Racing, Mike Battaglia.
Moving for the stretch, House Buster a length in front, then Black Tie Affair second. On the inside, Home at Last third. Then up from the outside, Tom Cobley fourth. Down the stretch, and House Buster is in front. On the outside, Black Tie Affair. Gap of 4 lengths to Home at Last. It's Black Tie Affair who's gaining ground on House Buster, now gets the lead. Black Tie Affair on the outside. He wins the Commonwealth Breeders' Cup by a length over House Buster.
A mile and 1/8 Oaklawn Handicap with the turf champion. It's all Greek to me.